Right after the finals last year, I did a lot of changes, which were quite big for me. I felt like I need to take a new step. I need to step out of my comfort zone. So this is me when I was like 12 or 13 years old. When I got into running, I remember that I was curious about racing, so excited about running and all the emotions I had when I run really hard. As I'm from the flat north of Germany and I was in Hanover on this Olympic training center in the boarding school for track and road running, and I had some really difficult, bad years, very painful years, and I lost my enjoyment for running. And then I came into trail running by chance, and I was so excited about running again. I was feeling all my passion for it, just like I felt it when I was younger, when I first started with running. And then it turned my whole life upside down. I moved to the mountains, I moved far away from my family, which is pretty hard for me. I moved 8 hours away, and yeah, my whole life changed. When I moved to Innsbruck, my goal was to study architecture here and to improve my downhill skills. I like to be creative, I like to draw. It's also a passion of mine, and I was just, or at least I had this dream to have an old barn and to rebuild it in the mountains. That would be my dream place to live. So I thought, yeah, maybe I should just study architecture. I think changes are always kind of a challenge, but they are also an opportunity. I always try to improve myself, to get most out of myself and to improve my way of training, my way of living, my way of racing.
UTMB Chamonix, it's one race, one day, in 1 year. So I don't think about that she's not ready. Absolutely, she's super ready for the race, super ready. She's super ready, super strong in the head, mentally. And I think for runners in those category, you need maybe also the lucky punch to get a great performance on point. Ida knows her strengths and she knows where she has to improve.
After the finals last year, I did a lot of changes, which were quite big for me. I have a new coach, I do more volume, I do more strength training, I have a new mental coach, I have a new management, so there were a lot of small changes which lead to a more professional way.
So it's the same weight with my weight?
Because before this I felt like I know myself very well. I have so many years to look on in running in general, but also in trail running, and I know my body very well, so I can coach myself. But at some point I felt like, yeah, but are you really going out of your comfort zone when you're writing your own training schedule? And I think the new coach, he is challenging me a lot. I'm training much more out of my comfort zone because you have to be able to suffer a lot. So for example, with a weighted vest on the Stairmaster or on the treadmill or at home at the road which leads to my house, it's an awful road, and I have to run this road over and over again, like every day. And the incline, everything just feels like it's super tough, but you can feel that this leads to improvement.
today?
Yeah, it's really good. This is like the best thing at my home. They have so much training logs to look on to see how I trained during the last years, and yeah, I can see an improvement. I can see how much more I do now, and it always helps me to see, okay, but I did the same training session 2 years ago, but I was so much slower, or the elevation was so much less. So I think the training logs are a big part of my everyday life and training schedule. Running was a whole new world. It opened up a whole new world, and I just love the feeling I have when I'm running on trails. As I didn't grow up in the mountains, I could always feel in the races that people who are coming from the mountains are pretty strong in the downhills, and I really wanted to improve this side of training. So whenever people say it's raining so much, you have to be technical, very capable, and you have to have the courage to just go with the flow and push really hard, also in technical downhills. But I think I worked a lot on it, and I trained a lot out of my comfort zone during the last months, and this year I could really feel a difference in my races. I felt like I somehow turned this weakness into a strength. I was able to push really hard in the downhills, and it felt really good.